Playland, the Westchester County Airport, and a delayed biotech development in Valhalla, along with the 2019 budget of $1.94 billion with its 2% property tax hike, were discussed by Westchester County Executive George Latimer on November 28th at the Business Council of Westchester's KeyBank Speaker Series breakfast at Tappan Hill in Tarrytown.
There's a proposal that we walked in the door that was already in work maybe 6-7 years. The use of 60 acres of land north of Westchester Medical Center, the North 60, owned by the county. John Ferrari, the developer, had a plan to turn that into a biotech area. Board of Legislators had adopted an IMA, a document, a lease document, which had not been signed when I walked in the door. And we looked at it as we looked at everything. And you might say, well, something that was done by your predecessor, isn't that automatically a fair game for elimination? We've tried to look at every single thing that we inherited, honestly and openly. In terms of North 60, that seems to me, layman, to be an intelligent effort to try to help create a biotech presence. It's not easy to do. And the effort made by the developer is one part of that process. But we also need to do a number of things around that. So where we are today is investing money in a full economic analysis. You're going to need it if you're going to get financing, right, bankers? You know, you're not going to be able to walk and say, I have a great idea. Would you loan me a hell of a lot of money? Doesn't work that way. And I think all of us have tried it at some point in time in our careers. But to have a more detailed analysis that we can give to the Board of Legislators, the project has changed a little bit from its original concept. It now includes some housing, and with that, I believe the Board of Legislators has a right to revisit it. I suspect they'll be supportive if the idea is solid, and the town of Mount Pleasant has a right to look at it as well. Because what we've done this year was not talk about the airport from a monetization standpoint, but talk about the airport from an operational standpoint and what its importance as a transportation hub is in the county, and as well what its impacts are as a neighbor to the people who live around it and near it. So we've made commitments to make sure we clean up any possible pollution into the drinking watershed and into the Long Island Sound, and those are ongoing and those are problematic. We're dealing with the state DEC now and a host of other things we have to do. We're looking at how we can try to monitor the noise issues that exist and under the flight paths and try to deal with the FAA in a positive, productive way. We've tried to maintain that relationship with the FAA, and at the same time, we've also looked at, through the Board of Legislators, a discussion about whether changing the governance of the airport makes sense. But to have that discussion, as with everything, openly, cooperatively, inclusively, not at the gunpoint of a budget that has to be balanced on making a decision within a month that has complicated elements to it. And there are lots. We intend, with the new year, to go to Albany. I probably will spend as much time in Albany in the next 3 months as I did as an assemblyman or a senator. And I'm going to make a case to the people that I know. I served beside all of them. And I'm going to make a case to them. I'm going to say, friends, if you want us at the local level to manage our governments, you have to give us greater revenue flexibility. You have to give us non-property tax flexibility. Is that going to be in the way you assess levies on Uber and Lyft? Maybe. Is it red light cameras? Maybe. Is it additional sales tax? Maybe. Is it cutting us in on legalizing sports gambling? Maybe. Are you going to legalize marijuana? Ay, ay, ay. Maybe. But whatever it is, and there are 5 or 6 different revenue streams, we need to have those revenue streams. We need to have non-property tax revenue streams if you want us to keep the property taxes low and run the government with the mandates that you've given us. And no prior county executive ever served in that state legislature. I have. On Playland. We have a meeting coming up on Friday with the principals from Standard Amusement. We've been pretty clear. We had a report done in the spring. John Nona and Joan McDonald issued a report which was critical of the existing lease or the existing arrangement with Standard Amusements. Let me be clear and public. I do not fault Standard Amusements. I don't fault anybody. I don't fault Standard Amusements. They negotiated what they thought was the best deal for them. And if I were in corporate life, that's what I'd do. Best deal I could make. We don't believe it's the best deal for the taxpayers of Westchester County. And we're going to have some dialogue. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. We're going to have dialogue with them. You know, there were rumors we're going to blow the deal up. We're going to go to court and try to, and we haven't done any of that stuff. But we think that there's a more stronger role for the county on Playland. I am a traditionalist. I grew up in this county. I went to Playland as a kid long before I moved across the street from it. And I want to see the county have a role, and if we're going to have a relationship going forward, I think it could be recast in a positive light, but those discussions have to happen.